you have an interesting background that I'd like to ask you at least one question about to kind of get into. So, just going over your LinkedIn profile, it looks like you had a pretty interesting journey where there was a point where you were an administrative assistant at the beginning of your career, and it looks like you kind of grew through legal roles, increasing seniority within legal firms, and then yeah, got into data science as well, and now you are a data science leader. So, I think this is an interesting journey, and I'd love to hear just a bit about what happened.
Yeah, yeah. So I fell into e-discovery as an admin assistant, basically as a temp receptionist, actually. And that was how I started my career. I was still finishing my undergrad at the time. And then at the same time that I was getting really familiar with e-discovery and developing my domain expertise there, I fell in love with statistics. So I took my first stats course and I got an A in it. And I didn't feel like I understood how or why I got an A because I didn't understand. I mean, I could calculate the correct answers, but I didn't have this intuitive understanding for why they were the correct answers. So I figured, okay, let me take more stats courses. And I took all the ones that made sense for me at the time. I took econometrics, psychometrics, various finance courses with portfolio theory. That's where I learned PCA. Um, yeah, so I took all these applied stats courses and I kept getting A's. But after each one, I had no idea how I was deserving of an A when I still felt like I didn't understand the material at all. So finally, I asked the chair of the statistics department at Northwestern if I could take his probability and stochastic processes course without any of the prerequisites. Right. And I wrote him, saying, okay, I know this is going to sound crazy, but here's why I think I can do it. And I'll never forget his reply. He wrote, "Dear Lilith, anything is possible, but of course I would have serious reservations about letting you enroll without any of the prerequisites at all. Write me back in a year. Let's see if you really have picked up calculus before I consider this seriously." So I did. I crammed for a year. I used MIT OpenCourseWare and Khan Academy and everything out there to just learn calculus on my own. A little bit of linear algebra. And then I came back to him and I said, "Okay, well, I didn't get as far as I wanted to, but um, I think I still want to take your course." So he said, "Go ahead." He sent me the textbook. It was a PDF. It was the first real math textbook I'd ever come across. It was just no images or anything, just coding problems. That's how I learned how to code, right? And math problems. And I crammed and I got an A on the final. So, and then I finally felt like I understood statistics. And then since then, it's just been a lot of self education and diving really deep into all the different flavors of confidence intervals you can use, really understanding right what probability coverage means from that angle, and just nerding out on the stuff I find most interesting.